Hello again, YouTube. Okay, first I want to apologise for not getting back to a lot of people who had messaged me through YouTube with like a private message. Believe it or not, I've only just found where those messages go. I find Google and YouTube's system of menus and inboxes and certain messages go here and there and everywhere. I just find it endlessly confusing. I know where they are now, so I will be able to find them. But if you want to message me, or if you've got a question, or you want some specific information, just use the comments thing because they get flagged up on my screen here on the Mac, and I can go straight into them. So yeah, to all those people that I've just spent ages going through and replying to all these messages going back a month or so, I apologise sincerely for taking so long to message you. I just hadn't seen the messages. So yeah, so they've all been replied to. Thank you so much for your comments and your support. I appreciate it so much. Anyway, that said, apologies. Right, this video, I just wanted to do a quick one. A little tip if you're reselling consoles, be it modern consoles or vintage Super Nintendos or Wii's that I sell a lot of. Avoid getting scammed because there is a scam out there. It's as old as the hills, and I've not suffered from this on eBay, but I've heard people that have. But I had suffered from this when I had the retail outlet. I used to, before going back to just selling on eBay, we had a store on the high street where we bought and sold. It was mainly games, DVDs, and CDs. And we got scammed a few times by people simply coming in and buying a second-hand PlayStation 2, for example, and then taking it home, putting it in their living room, picking up the one that's died, bringing it back and saying, this PlayStation doesn't, excuse me, this PlayStation doesn't work, and demanding a refund. And in the early days, the very early days when we had the shop, we had no system in place to protect ourselves from that. So we quickly, after one or two, scenarios of that happening, and of course I used to test my machine, so I was a bit, well, it worked yesterday. Why is it faulty today, sort of thing. And I quickly realised we were getting scammed. So then I set up a system where we logged every console with its serial number and the buyer's name and the receipt number and everything. So everything tied in, so there was no way of getting around that. And that's what I suggest you do when selling on eBay. If you're selling a console, write in the actual listing description the serial number of the unit. So then if somebody tries to scam you in this way, you can say the console you sent me isn't the one that was listed. Go into the listing and see for yourself. It's a different serial number, blah, blah, blah. But it should stop you attracting scammers anyway, because they'll see that you've listed the serial number, so they'll know that there's no way in them trying to return a different faulty console to you, because you'll know it's different because it's written there. So yeah, it's just a way of protecting you. I mean, I don't want to make everybody out there paranoid, because this sort of thing doesn't happen very often. But I have read stories and heard stories of it going on eBay, and from my experience in retail, it's a very easy thing to protect yourself from. So that was that. And while I'm on the subject of consoles, you've probably seen that I cleared all of my Wii stock recently, and I was just thinking about one little tip when you're selling or when you're buying and selling Wii's is at the front of the Wii console. I should have had one to hand really to show you, but there's a tiny little flap just by the power button and that. Whenever you pick one of these up second hand, open that flap. I sold or listed, I think it was 6. I had them here. 6 the other day, and I've only got 2 of them now. Half of them had memory cards in, because people forget to take their SD cards out of the front of their Wii's, because the Wii, you can use it to view your videos and photos by just slipping in your memory card in the front. People forget they're in there, they take them to the car boot sale, and like I say, 50% of the last few that I sold had these in. So I found 3 of these. I mean, there's a 2 gig one. This one isn't very big at all, 16 meg. But these have value. You can just do a little listing on eBay of 3 or 4 memory cards, or do them individually if you want. There's not a lot of value in them, but it's another little bit of income you can get for nothing. So always check that little door on the front. If the console's facing you in the middle at the front, there's a tiny little flap. Just open that and see if you can find some freebies. It's quite sad. These have family photos and videos on. I've got no way of tracking the person who it is and getting these back to them. I think what I'm going to do actually when I'm out at car boot sales now, because these have very little value, is just check the flap when I'm buying it and give the card back to the people, to be honest, because there could be some treasured memories on these. But the Wii's that I had in stock, I'd had for ages, and so I've got no way of tracing the owner for these. But there you go. And also, when you test your Wii, I think I mentioned this in the other video, but I'll say it again. When you test your Wii consoles to check they work before selling them, which I strongly recommend you do, always check on the little menu screen, all the different channels. Scroll to the sides and see if they've downloaded any software onto it, because the downloaded software, you know, it has a value, and it will add to the perceived value of that console. So always check if it's got any downloaded games on, because you can put that in your description and it will add to the value of it. So yeah, that's that. So just a quick one. Thanks for watching, and if you've not watched me before, I buy and sell online to earn my living. This is what I do, and I'm just here on eBay sharing my knowledge and sharing what I do. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.